I can't get enough from it. Because they're like, when you fuck
so it's
her,
like a
then
Mormon?
blah, blah, then you treat me like shit. And I'm like, she's like, when we fuck, we always just get in an argument, and she comes in the middle of it. And I'm like, what is going on?
Holy shit. Okay.
And they're like, you treat her like she's queen shit, the best, and you treat me like shit. Like I'm shit.
I feel like that's a better intro than what we had.
That's like, that was breaking news. I think we should start with that.
Okay, well, folks, basically that's just a recap of an argument we heard from our neighbors who live underneath us at the penthouse. We rented it out, like Airbnb style. And yeah, I guess people got into a little menage a trois drama.
Like, as I was, sneaking my ear through the door for a good 5 minutes, and the best that I can surmise is a polygamous relationship with a guy and two girls, and one just doesn't feel like she's treated as well as the other one.
Yeah, and that's not cool, people. You always gotta treat each other with.
And that's not satire either. That's
that's real.
That's what I honestly think is happening.
All right, well, fam, obviously here you are now. Welcome to the God's Plan podcast. I'm your host Borna,
and I'm your host DJ Coach Bhagavan Nisk Maldonado Passage.
And welcome to the show where we have informal discussions about life
and formal discussions about nonsense.
So just two quick announcements. One, we got our new Instagram up, baby. That's right. And we got a new Facebook page. So feel free to join those. The name is God's Plan Pod. I guess that's the handle. And it's linked to our Twitter account also. How cool is that, guys?
Dude, welcome to 2009, Borno.
What the fuck, man? Earlier you said it was 2013.
Well, that's because I was trying to spare your feelings, but...
Well, anyways, that's
now.
Again, God's Plan Pod. Okay, so that's Twitter, Facebook page, and our Instagram page. You can see awesome, cool behind-the-scenes photos of our new head of marketing, Big Patty. She's beautiful. And now let's get into this. Let's dive into this episode a little bit.
Oh boy, here we go. So we have a returning guest, and I unfortunately was not here for the first episode where this young man came on.
It was so unfortunate. Like you had, like none of it was up to you at all.
It was Easter Sunday, and I was eating dinner with my parents.
What a selfish boy.
What selfish is as selfish does, sir.
Podcast to run here.
But anyway, so you've heard of FBI agents, you've heard of ATF agents, but have you heard of the realist agent? This young man performs real estate agency.
None of that fake shit.
Nothing is fabricated about this man. When he speaks from the heart, and it comes through his mouth. And I'd also like to put a really big point out there that this guest actually, in probably the last 5 to 7 episodes of the God's Plan podcast, is over 125 pounds. So, Matt, glad to have you.
Thanks for having me, gentlemen. Thanks for having me back, I guess. Although the first episode was something of a trial run.
I think it went pretty smoothly.
Yeah, that's it went fairly smoothly. It might need some revisions, but I'd have to.
Well, what do you want to clear up? Anything you want to set the record straight on that happened in the?
Not necessarily. I haven't gone back through that conversation, but I'll get there. I'll get there.
And we're talking about episode 1, by the way. So
it's like episode 0, 1 or 0. I don't know.
Well,
guys,
if you're curious,
is that published?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's published.
It's published already. Oh baby, it's published.
You've been famous for a while.
You're a YouTube.
Gotcha.
You're a star now.
Right.
Yeah. Have you realized that you've been famous? Like, I know it affects people in different ways, but some get starstruck like that, so you might not have even realized that you've been famous for since Easter.
I was wondering why there were those paparazzos outside.
And that's it. You just stopped at that. People were taking pictures of you outside, and you said, I wonder what that's about. And just
I figured it was for a modeling gig that called me when I was a junior in high school. I thought they just came around just now, but
I did one of those at the Big E. Had a few brewskis in me. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go on my own in the big plaza. For a sudden, this, relatively handsome man, I guess, like not relatively, I guess, just points at me from the crowd. And I look at him, and he just beckons to me. I go, nobody freaking beckons to me. So I just very slowly walked over, like, what's up? And he's like, you. And he starts talking like, you should do acting, like modeling and stuff. We're here for this agency. So they're like just recruiting emails and stuff like that. And I just started talking him up like, you know, yeah, I'm a personal trainer and everything. Yeah, I work out all the time. It's really important. I'm also a grad student. And just really played myself up as, you know, pretty much the most perfect person ever. And ended up like taking a picture for the place, and I never got an email back, which was unfortunate. But
How unlucky.
it's unlucky. But she added me on Facebook.
They were just too intimidated to call you.
Yeah.
They didn't leave you on red per se. But
No, but they're probably passing through. They're probably just waiting for, like a lot of people, they just wait for an emergency moment. They go, we need this man. So they're probably just saving me for something like that.
So I personally have actually heard that story before. I thought I would let it ride for the audience, you know. So quite the story.
How
What
considerate.
really stood out to me was the brewskis, and I have to ask: is this a booze-free podcast, or what's the deal?
A booze free. This is a booze mandatory podcast.
Yes, sir.
Great, because I poured a bottle of wine during the plugs at the beginning. Not a bottle, but a glass of wine during the plugs at the beginning. I figured I might need it to get through this one.
To
You
tolerate.
knew I should have went to the store before I.
He's like, I gotta
the gas
tolerate
station.
these two assholes. I'm gonna need some whiskey at least. Yeah, but
No, just a wee bit of wine, you know. Cheers, na zdrowie, gentlemen.
Mastrova.
Nastrovia kurva.
Nosotros.
And other cheers
So
words.
what's the topic for today?
I'm so glad you asked that. Honestly, you just made me so happy for asking. Because the plan today is amazing. It's the best plan ever. It's so great. Everyone's going to love it. It's going to be such a winning, amazing plan. It's honestly amazing. It's so good. You have no idea how good this plan is.
What's your favorite color?
It's like blue. Sometimes I say indigo, but that's if I'm feeling like a hipster.
Indigo's a nice color.
It is a nice color. It is. It's
Darker
very
purple or
nice.
blue on that spectrum.
Yeah, it's very soothing to look at.
I genuinely do love indigo.
Yeah, you struck me as more of a. Well, indigo makes sense. You strike me as a lot of a purple guy. That you really like the color purple.
Like a mauve.
I like purple.
Yeah.
Purple's an enlightening color, you know.
Right, it's one of those relating to like
Purple.
psychic.
I once knew a
You
dog
know?
named
Yeah.
Purple.
Purple.
The higher tiers.
Pink.
Of,
Yeah. The
mind.
higher ascended
Almost moving
beings
into the
such
pink.
as us.
Big Patty's actually a shade of pink.
Oh yes. I think that's hot pink. It's big
Hot
patty.
pink, yeah, it's like a neon.
So
Now, if you're wondering what Big Patty looks like, just go shoot on over to our Instagram page, God's Plan Pod, and you can get a look at how beautiful and sexy Big Patty is.
she reads all of your comments.
She's
So
very-
don't be bashful.
Don't be bashful, folks. Well, Matt, I think that's a beautiful color, actually. And that segues us into our next topic perfectly. Why is Portal 2 such a good game?
So Portal 2 is very much a classic. You may see that you have a new follower on the God's Plan pod page. Uncoincidental.
Oh boy, hit it.
Um,
New follower
so-
alert, people, live updates.
New follower.
So Portal 2, let's actually talk about that. That's a pretty good, it's a classic game. It's got good humor to it. It's a Steam game, or not Steam, I'm sorry, what's it called? Valve. They have pretty decent
Valve
engines, so
sounds
it's just fluid, fluid motion.
Mm-hmm.
The storyline is kind of, it's cool, but it's got good humor throughout. But the coolest part is the basic gameplay incorporating a complete and utter violation of the laws of physics. And the first time you try it, it's absolutely mind-blowing. And then it creates puzzles around the very portals that warp physics. And I mean, it's just a good time. It's a little brain teaser, not really a teaser, but it's like a little brain exerciser,
A violation of the laws of physics. I have never heard it put into that words, but I really like the way you describe that. So yeah, for the people that don't quite understand the game, yeah, it's like a puzzle game.
It's like a puzzle game. It gives you like a first-person shooter vibe when you interact with it, but you're not really killing anyone or shooting much besides actual portals. And
Right.
yeah.
You're shooting the portal.
But you are breaking laws, it sounds like. So this is a crime
You're
game.
breaking multiple laws. You're breaking the laws of physics. You're also breaking I don't know if they're laws, but more rules of aperture science, where you're kind of like an experimental test subject. But you're like
yes.
the only human.
Aperture
Yeah.
science.
2 laws broken.
All of our listeners will certainly know what that is because we have a very intellectual, cerebral fan base.
No jackanapes in our audience.
Oh, you use the buzzword jackanapes.
Jackanapes.
But so, fun fact for the word jackanapes, it actually means an impertinent man or an impertinent person, and the word itself isn't necessarily plural, although it ends in an S.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So if you just heard that,
So
if you spell jackanapes and you're referring to a few different impertinent men, then you want to put the apostrophe at the end of the S. Because
Right.
that's going to dictate both possessive and plural.
then you can get bonus pretentious points. All right, Matt.
Going back.
So this game,
So I'm usually pretty good with vocabulary, but what does impertinent mean? It's not coming to me right now.
it's like someone who just like doesn't have any class.
It's like inadequate.
I like a troglodyte.
I think we defined impertinent on AJ's episode, didn't we?
Think Kyle.
That makes sense. That's,
We're calling you out, Mayor of Greenwich. If you're listening to
Mayor
this,
of Greenwich, we've been calling you out for episodes and episodes.
if you're listening to this, get your ass on here.
he actually wanted to join in on my episode, which was originally going to be on Sunday, but that got rescheduled, and
Right.
that's yeah.
Well, that's all right. That's all right. I think that would be. I think with him on, there's going to be enough people talking over each other as it is, and if we try to do 4 people at once with him, I don't think anybody would be able to get a word in.
So I actually have the best analogy for this. So if you think about how the MCU was set up, you introduce one character and then another character, and then you have the other character back for a second round. You have Iron Man 2. Here's you, Matt. Okay, we're going to introduce Kyle as like, he's going to be big, man. But you guys don't join the Avengers yet until everybody sort of gets a profile of you. And that's how we're going to come together. And that's God's plan.
I like the approach.
Yeah.
Impertinence, unmannerly intrusion or presumption. Insolence. That's what I'm looking for, impertinent.
All right. It doesn't really matter if you know how to define the word, as long as you say it. No one's going to ask you what it
you
means.
say it like it sounds right.
Then you're gonna come off as an asshole, no matter what.
I've definitely come across the word before. I've definitely looked it up even before.
Presumptuous.
Insolent. It's a good word. It's even a good word.
It's not better than
Brash,
jackanapes, though.
impertinent youth, yeah. But the fact that we have to define jackanapes with impertinent,
It's no dude. Yeah, then you're
it's
just
probably
selling
the most plurist.
If you're saying
of all.
jackanapes, you're already a huge asshole. But then if you define it with another word that you need to look up, then you're just like the biggest asshole.
Combine that with a quick scoff.
Yeah,
A quick little exhale through your nostril.
that dude's a fucking jackanapes. That's the fucking.
He's
that's
a-
how it's used.
It also
yeah.
sounds like an
jackanapes.
animal. It sounds like something close to a jackalope, like a little horn.
Yeah, it's like a jackalope, only an
Distant
ape.
cousin.
Oh my god! But
Like
like
an
it's an
ape
ape with
with ear
horns.
horns.
That thing sounds
Terrifying.
that sounds-
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That thing will scare your nightmares.
Wow.
Wow.
I thought one of
Crazy
those.
stuff. Crazy stuff. All right, Matt.
Mm.
I know you and Dylan kind of have this in common. I don't really get this as much, but you guys watch a show
This
about.
is gonna become Dylan's detective corner. I'm about to go. In
No.
on this if
You don't
this
know.
is what-
It's not what you think. I'm talking
Okay.
about the propane, the show where they sell
Oh,
propane.
King of the Hill.
Like a bunch
Oh,
of red.
King of the Hill.
What the fuck is the appeal of that show, dude? That thing is like decades old. It's not even funny.
So,
Like the animation
first
is
of all,
so.
to say that we watch it is an overstatement. We watched it when it aired on television because it was on, and there's nothing else to watch. The appeal of that show is trying to figure out whether or not the fucking developers or producers of it, whatever they are fucking with the audience, or if they're trying to make a genuine, wholesome show. That's really as far as I can really, what's the word, fathom it.
Every
Like, that's-
time I listen
the
to
most
an
contact
episode
I
of the
can get.
God's Plan podcast, I feel the same way.
Oh my god. What was it that one of our new potential guests said that he asked 3 people who've been guests on the show?
Oh
Would you
yeah,
like to
no,
tell
this is So one of my friends came up to me obviously they were like begging me to come on the show, but we're so backed up with people who want to take guests. Oh, we are accepting applications, by the way. If anybody does want to be a guest, message us on Facebook, hit us up on our email, thegodsplanpodcast@gmail.com.
Instagram, Twitter,
any of our social. If you want to come on the show, email us. We'll vet you. We'll do the little application process. Anyway,
graphic location doesn't matter.
So my friend came up to me and was like, dude, I asked some kid what your podcast is about. I asked 3 different people what your podcast is about, and every single one of them replied with one word. Life. And they were actually spot on. Because if you only listen to this, then you would just know pretty much everything you need to expect if you're going to go out into the world, into this scary world.
Yeah.
We got you.
So you're saying
we'll prepare you.
So you're saying if someone right now, one of these 2020 kids who doesn't get to graduate high school, is graduating high school, like one of these seniors, but doesn't get to do all their ceremony and bullshit, if they were to just skip college altogether, listen to all the episodes of your podcast, and then just walk out on the street, you're saying be prepared for whatever is going to come their way.
Okay, well, here's a fun fact for you that I don't think you realize, is that 100% of all wars were fought outside. So tell me how dangerous or safe outside is. And where are people going to get that information other than listening to this episode?
So regardless of the accuracy of that statement, I actually have no rebuttal. That statement seems entirely inaccurate, but I don't need to tell you that.
I fight a war inside my head every day.
I'm not here to.
Are you speaking of the war of the mind now?
Every single
I'm not here to
time
set
I
the
make a
God's Plan
decision.
podcast proper. That's not.
I'm
my
sure the
thing.
rewards
No,
fund
no.
space. Like,
Whenever-
they're not just all outside, I guess.
Whenever I'm like debating whether or not we should publish a new episode, I have a little internal struggle. I have a war inside my own head. Like, should we really? Does the world really need this?
And I just have to keep coaxing him, saying, yes, it does.
And then
this is great.
My co-host thankfully just helps me brute force my way through all of that, all that doubt.
Brute force your way through that decision. Just
And for that
Too big
reason,
to
here we
fail
are.
now.
It's yeah. I mean, we've come too far at this point. The momentum is just way too high. Honestly,
it's
like,
got to be like a dream.
dude, earlier today, you wouldn't even believe it. Alec Baldwin was knocking on our door, and he was like trying to get us to autograph this piece of exercise equipment for him.
his foam roller.
And I was like, dude, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, nobody watches 30 Rock. We have a show to record. Like, stop trying to leech. He's a fucking leach.
I got
Okay.
like
I
30
actually
Rock,
gave
but
him
he was
your
not my
address.
favorite
Sorry about
character in that. What's that, Mr. Mateusz?
I gave him your address. So that's how we got there. Sorry about that.
That was... You son of a bitch.
Because we moved before. Like, I don't know how he even knew we were here, because the only other place he was at was our old penthouse mansion
Yeah, the penthouse, yeah.
in San Diego,
San Bernardino,
Waco, Texas.
Not Waco. It
San
wasn't in
Diego.
Waco.
It wasn't
Ohio.
Waco. We were not.
I've never been in Waco.
No.
They made sure to wipe that part of my memory.
7 seals for life. Okay, so I think it's good enough time for one of the most intense.
One of our personal favorite segments of the show.
Dylan,
What's on Bornos?
damn it!
What's on?
Fine, you do your segment, then I'll do my segment.
What is under Bornos teabag today? Well, folks. Well, unfortunately, folks, it actually was a really beautiful, inspirational quote on my teabag tag this morning. And it really had a bunch of cool motivational words like sacred and share and spread and messages and all that. But
All organized in one sentence.
yeah, it was just very beautiful and elegant and poetic. And I ended up throwing it in the garbage because I wasn't really thinking ahead. And also, it might have been a little bit of the... Want to do a Dylan's detective? Do you want to do a Dylan's detective corner?
I think that we should.
Yeah, I think it's only appropriate. Okay, so it's time for another segment of Dylan's Detective Corner.
All right. Matt, there has been noticeable tension in our friendship for probably 8 years or so. It spurs up every now and then, and I'm finally we're just gonna unwind it and take care of it. All right?
Let it rip.
Let's do it.
Okay. Why don't you like The Office?
It's just kind of dry, plain. I mean, I get the appeal of it. I think it's probably got funny parts. It's just like so brutally mundane.
I mean, that's sort of the appeal of it. Is that it's
I know,
this
I
mundane
know.
environment.
So you say you're critiquing it as though it's too dry. So you like your shows in water, some kind of moisture in your shows?
I mean, let's be honest. I don't watch any shows except I did just start a show for the first time in like probably years.
Nice. Back on topic. Office finished in like 2013, man. I'm not talking
Not
about
that show. I'm watching The Last Kingdom. It's about fucking the Englishmen and Vikings and shit. It's pretty cool. I mean, it got recommended to me by several people, so I figured I'd give it a watch.
I think you would like The Office. How much of The Office?
I think I could enjoy it. I think I could enjoy it if I'm being honest. I think my stand against The Office has run its course and isn't entirely warranted. But it's also it's got a lot of episodes, and that deters me a little bit.
Yeah, it always what it did, like when I was working security and stuff, I'd always watch an episode before I went to work, and it just kind of makes like a workplace environment more fun, just because it kind of like it sort of highlights those like little mundane parts, like the copier or something like that. And it's like it's. I don't even know if there is a copy.
That's
there
hilarious.
Is a copier bit. Well,
dude, the copiers are just
chilly.
so.
Kevin's chilly. I showed you that.
There's nothing funnier than a good copy machine. Like when I want to laugh, I just go right up to my copy machine.
Okay. But Matt, you said you think you would enjoy it if you watched it.
I could. I think I could. I don't want to say I definitely would.
Just say I most likely would. Say like yes.
I do have to say though. Hold on. I gotta say. My impression of The Office's fan base is derived from Tinder, and it's not impressive. I'm gonna leave it at that.
It's alright, but once again, you said that you would like The Office if you gave it a good shot.
I could. I said I could. I must.
There we go. Yeah, got him. All okay.
All right, got him. Boom, another successful Dylan's Detective Corner. Folks, this has concluded Dylan's Detective Corner. Still undefeated.
Undefeated, undisputed, never lost a Detective Corner.
Gotcha news or something.
Gotcha journalism.
Gotcha journalism.
A little mixture of improv and gotcha journalism.
I'm going to be pretty honest here, and I don't really get The Office either. So, folks, if you watch The Office at home, we would love to hear from you. What's your favorite episode? Maybe throw it out in the comments section. Maybe come into our Discord page or something. But help me understand, guys. What is all this fuss about for The Office? I don't get it.
I heard Parks and Rec is better also.
That's from Duncan.
No.
Duncan said that.
I would know if it came from Duncan. Maybe it did. Maybe he bullshit into thinking it came from someone else. I don't know.
Duncan bullshitting you? No.
Doesn't sound like Duncan. One time Coach Boyle scolded me for even implying the possibility.
Can you give us a little background there?
From that which part?
Okay, let me just do a quick plug. Episode 3. We're talking about Duncan from episode 3. If you want to get a good idea who Duncan is.
3.
If you want
I gotta give
Duncan.
that episode a listen. I gotta give that episode a listen.
Actually, no, that's probably not even fair to say that that's who he is, because he just like woke up that morning hungover.
That's how I describe him. Like Duncan just woke up hungover and just went on a good old rant.
Good old
disclaimer.
Rant.
Duncan's a great guy.
Duncan's a great guy. Duncan's a phenomenal guy.
Within knowing him personally, my relationship to him is recognizing him as a bullshitter. I don't think that's who he is to everyone. But that's how we interact. That's our baseline.
Be honest. Don't be modest.
Yeah.
So we covered The Office and a little bit of video games and Portal. We had that story.
So yeah, what's the topic? Wait, it was Portal, right?
Yo, wait, what's the topic?
So, you want to know the topic? You want to know the topic.
You want to know the topic? What does this guy want, Mr. Topic?
The actual
Wonderson.
topic of the episode. A lot of people are talking about quarantine nowadays, but we don't want to talk. We don't want to talk about what everyone else is talking about.
We have real conversations with real people. What's real in your life, Matt?
A steak.
So I'm actually an incredibly fake person. No, I'm just kidding.
Tell us about your.
real-
Hold on. You mentioned Tinder earlier, so.
Ooh.
Oh
what
yeah,
is
it seems
going-
that you have some kind of.
Is this fair game? Is
This seems like knowledge that you have.
Give us some
We
fun
could talk
little.
about it.
I think that's what people want to hear. I know I want to.
Turn this up. Hear him louder.
Tinder is a no man's land.
It's
I
no
mean,
man's
here's
land, and
the
I believe last time you were on the show, you introduced yourself as but a man,
Butterman.
Butterman.
It's a no man's land.
and this is
But
no
yeah,
man's
I
land.
mean, I mean, dating apps in general are an interesting thing because I mean,
Wait, Tinder's for dating?
is it? Maybe not.
I think that's
No,
just
I
what it's
would say-
listed on.
I
there. I
honestly,
don't know
if it's
actual purposely
I've been
used
using
for
it the
It's-
wrong way.
I'm using it
it's
to promote my
classified.
OnlyFans.
I think it can be classified fairly as a dating app, but I don't think it's the place to go if
No,
you're
I thought it
looking-
was like a book club.
if you're looking for like a date, like one date, great. But if you're looking to date someone, it is kind of like a book club. But
Because it's like Tinder and then Kindle. Like you Tinder the Kindle and then you start the fire.
In that sandwich delivery app, Grindr. Is that like?
they will.
I don't eat
definitely
carbs, so I don't
you.
know about these. So that's why I'm asking you. Like,
God.
how
They'll
often do
deliver
you
you some
use
subs.
Grindr?
Guys, never fucking order Subway in Uber Eats.
Oh
during
my
quarantine.
god! Yeah. Speaking of grinders,
Please don't
Go.
do it.
Yeah.
You'll just get wrecked. You'll have to put a lean don't order Subway, people.
I mean, what we get 2 sandwiches for like 30 bucks?
It'll bankrupt you.
What do you guys have plugged for Quiznos now?
No,
Use the code GPP at Grinder and you can get 40% off your next 6-inch. I'm assuming it's a sub. But
They didn't tell us much. They just said 6-inch, so we figured
I haven't tried it yet.
sandwich.
But yeah,
Don't be shy. Tell us how it works in the comments in the Discord.
tell us if you have any success with that. Just don't tell them that we sent you.
No images in the Discord.
Keep it SFW, please. Keep it SFW.
Yes.
So do you guys keep like a tally mark of how much misinformation you've spread on your podcast?
We're gonna be putting clips up on our social media pages of our funny moments. So
True, yeah, true.
we'll probably be more self-aware. I mean, there are times where I just open my mouth and words come out, and I just put my head down and go, "What is wrong with you?"
Short answer, I'd expect a yes with 0 tallies, right? That's probably where it comes
Dude, look, the only thing I tally here is me banana.
from. Alright.
No, wait, that's the
Tally's
job of
banana.
the Mr. Tallyman. Who do I look like? Who do I look like, Mr. Tallyman?
Mr. Tallyman to you, Mr. Tallyman Banana.
Who uses tally marks these days? It's 2020, you know? We got, like, other ways of counting things. Do I look like Count? Do I look like the Count?
The Count.
Count Chocula
1, 3, 2.
of Monte Cristo?
The County of Monte Cristo sandwich.
This is goddamn...
And that was another segment of Born with Nisk Try Jokes.
Comedy
Try jokes.
without a bet. Okay, Matt,
Try jokes.
most
Have
embarrassing
big
Tinder
jokes.
story.
Have
Go.
big jokes with. Okay. Yeah, no, nothing comes to mind.
Nothing comes to
mind,
mind, or
done
nothing that
everything
you can
perfect.
safely say?
You take your pick. I mean, here's the thing. If something comes to mind, but I don't want to be on podcast roasting a former date. That's just not a good thing.
Is it weird that I could somehow see you raising an eyebrow when you first started that sentence? I can just
I don't
see
even
you
know how
raising-
to raise
Oh,
a single
man.
eyebrow at a time.
Dude,
Um,
you will if you talk to us enough. You'll be forced to raise one eyebrow.
So the key is sort of putting the consciousness in your forehead, your frontalis muscles. And once you become more conscious and sort of wake them up, like little massages in that area, then you'll be able to excite new neural pathways.
Frontalis.
The frontalis muscle, that you can actually stimulate some motor patterns and get more control of your facial expressions. We have like 153 muscles just in the face. So why can't you train them? Never skip jaw day.
Also, folks, if you're a fan of pizza, we actually just started a brand new business called Tony's Pizza Shop.
Well, it predated this. I mean,
That's true. I'm just firing from the hip here.
yeah, I know. We'll get into a full story of Tony's Pizza Stop, the rise, the falls, the brick ovens.
The day of reckoning.
Yeah, and then the day of reckoning when the state closed us down.
Which was prophesized by the owner of Pizza Hut.
Which
Hey,
was
you guys picking up on my audio?
No, I can hear you, Matt.
You can hear me? Can you hear my computer audio?
Yes.
Yeah, is this going to give us another copyright infringement?
Yeah. You're gonna demonetize us
Yeah,
again?
I'm watching an episode of The Office.
Please stop. That show sucks, okay? I'm just going to say
Shut
it. No,
up,
because we're
man.
deep in the... We're already... I said it.
Dude, you don't even know. So
To be fair,
Let me put it
it's
this
not
way.
going to be copyright infringement because I don't think anyone's going to get this far in the episode.
that's what we said about the last copyright infringement we got. Guess what? They did.
They probably scan the fucking audio signature pattern or something like that, you know?
Okay, I'll put it this way. If I had the choice between watching an episode of The Office or listening to myself practice half-baked improv comedy, I would choose...
On a podcast that I created.
So I have a question. Like, hypothetically, if you took a half-baked bit and just kept it going to an exuberant extent of actually, like, hypothetically making it a podcast or something, would that make it actually funny? Or would that... Or how would that play out? What's the... This is a philosophical...
Yeah, we're baking it at a lower temperature over a long, long period of time.
In a brick oven.
Right.
So it appears half-baked.
To the
But it's
untrained
being-
eye.
Yeah, to the untrained
But it's
eye.
actually fucking raw.
It's actually...
No, your palate is just unsophisticated.
Yeah, you have to realize that good cuisine takes time.
Oh, yeah, I'm the problem.
We use what's called the sous vide method. Brought here by France by Chef Wonderful himself.
Shout out to Chef Wonderful.
Shout out to Chef Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary.
He is a true master of... He's a captain of the industry. How else can you describe him?
It's Chef Wonderful. And he brought the sous vide method. He found out that the French were doing this to all their food, is cooking using the sous vide method, and he actually brought it to the United States.
He's like the Jeff Bezos of cooking.
So, Matt, do you have any closing jokes for us in the Planiacs?
So a snake slithers into a bar. The bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve snakes here." The snake says, "Well, why the hell not?" And the bartender says, "'Cause they can't hold their liquor." Because snakes don't have hands.
No, I love that one. I love that one. That might be the title of the episode.
Goes way back. Goes way back.
I'm still in shock, dude. I'm just processing it.
All right, then I'll start us
That's-
off. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Matt, we would love to love that you came back. I'm glad that I got a chance to speak with you personally.
I'm sure I'll be back around, unfortunately.
Oh, you
Wait
will.
for
When
it
we
to
get
think
all the
about it.
Avengers together, like I said in the beginning, I mean, we're going to get the mayor next. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've been teasing this for about 3 or 4 episodes, but the mayor of Greenwich is going to be on the podcast
Connecticut.
very soon. Greenwich, Connecticut,
Yes.
not England
Yeah.
or UK or whatever.
There
it
might be a
is.
Greenwich in like Australia for all we know.
There could be, but it's none of those. It's of Connecticut. The actual mayor. So please stay tuned. When we have this, you can check it out. We'll be putting posts on Instagram, Facebook, Twitstagram, email, all of them at God's Plan Pod.
God's Plod.
God's
No.
Plod.
Yeah, God's Plan Pod.
God's Plan Pod.
God's Plan Pod. Yeah, and if you want to listen to other, obviously that's how you can be a part of the plan, but if you also want to listen to older episodes, we are on Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, Apple, SoundCloud, Banana, Fruit.
Typewriter.
Copy machine, I hear, is a funny way to...
Yeah, all right, whatever.
All right, and now.
Frosty.
At
All right, folks, yeah.
GG's.
All right, good night, folks, and remember...